Hey, welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and on this episode, we're taking a look at a Diamond Select action figure that is one that I'm so excited for. You know, if you guys are regulars on this channel, you hear me talk about Diamond figures a lot, and usually one of the things I'll say is when they do characters that are big, they are the best. And today, this is no exception to the rule. I feel like I'm already biased going into this one because I really like this character. I really like what I'm seeing from the outside of the packaging. And I can't wait to break into it and see how this thing actually looks and feels. And that's because today we're taking a look at the Diamond Select Venom action figure. You guys can tell this thing is already pretty gargantuan. This is an enormous looking figure. There's a lot of details, a lot of really awesome elements to this figure. I am so thrilled to finally have this in my hands here. But real quick, let's just talk about this packaging, and I don't want to spend too much time on it because I want to get them out of this box. So the packaging is what you get with really any of the Marvel Select figures that you're getting from Diamond. And that is still this very, very, very large packaging here. It's this enormous open packaging here, so you can see every single nook and cranny of this toy, all the accessories he has. And one of the key things about this packaging here is that you have this enormous window that lets you take a look at every single nook and cranny on these figures. You see all their accessories. There's, of course, a pretty good amount of things in here as always. But yeah, you guys can see a lot to look at, and that's really cool. And another awesome thing here is that on the sides of the packaging, you know, one side has got nothing, but the other side, that is where the action is at. And we have this epic illustration of Venom himself. I mean, look at this thing. He is slobbering, he is toothsome, he's just like snarling at the camera, or in this case, I guess us looking at it. There's no camera here, it's just us. But I mean, what a great illustration, you guys. So yeah, that's really cool. And if we go ahead and take a quick look at the back of the packaging here, you'll see that, well, we don't really get too much with it. We get basically another big image of the toy that we've already just seen from the front. We also have a pretty good bio that also kind of lets us know a little bit about when this figure was from. Typically, most of these Diamond toys are kind of just like an iconic moment for Venom. In this case, yeah, this is kind of an iconic Venom, but it also talks about a moment here where basically he bonds with other symbiotes. It even actually shows another issue of a comic, so you can kind of figure out which one that is if you want to. You know, based on what I saw of this thing, I first initially thought it was actually like Venom from the Madness miniseries that he did like way back when Venom first started to break off and have his own miniseries. This might be actually one of the Rick Remender series that we're talking about with this toy here. So yeah, still really cool that they're actually highlighting a specific moment in Venom history. And we also get a look at two other figures that Diamond has done recently, or that are coming out soon, in fact, and that is the Barbarian Hulk and Rhino. So again, we're talking about some really huge action figures here. And you know, one of the cool things about these toys, by the way, in case you're wondering, is most of these guys, I believe, are still under $30 when you get them new from like Big Bad or even Amazon, most other places. So it's going to be a lot of bang for your buck. Again, you guys can tell I'm already really excited about this, and I'm like saying great things and praising it already. But yeah, let's save some of that right now. So let's go ahead, get this Venom out of the packaging, and let's take a closer look at him from all angles. All right, and here is our Venom now out of the packaging, and I'm going to show him to you guys the exact way he came out of this packaging, because he's already basically wearing one of his accessories. So we're just going to start right here with that. But you guys, yeah, just look at the beautiful sculpting detail on this guy. Like, I hope it really shows in the video here, but this has some just really great Venom details here. So yeah, let's just pull out a little bit so you can see the entire body a little bit better here. And yeah, we are just looking at gorgeous looking Venom figure. You know, like I had high hopes for it, and I am not disappointed so far. So let's just go ahead and dive right on in here. And I think first things first, I want to just stress how large this figure is. So I brought out a ruler here. Let's actually do it this way, make it real easy. Brought out a ruler here. As you guys can see, it's basically just about 9 inches tall with the extra heads in the back of him here. I mean, yeah, no, it's about 8.5, really close to that, but about 8.5 to 9 inches tall is how big this figure is. That's a lot of figure to get. And I'm going to stress the price point here again. It's somewhere, it's not 30 bucks. Like none of these Marvel Select figures, I believe, are 30 bucks yet. We're still like under that price point. So just keep that in mind as we discuss this guy here. But already we're talking about a lot of plastic. So I'm trying to figure out where to even actually now begin with starting to pick apart some of the details here. And I guess let's just talk about, since we're talking about size, just the whole body and the sculpt of this Venom. Because I mean, he is muscular. He is jacked up. He is, you know, he is Roidy Magoo Venom right here. But that's kind of how you want your Venom to be. You want them to be big and strong and very, very fearsome looking. And this one here is no slouch. So yeah, there's a lot to discuss here. There's just great muscular detail on this. And what's cool about the muscle detail also is that it does kind of look a little bit alien. Like, yes, it is a human body, it's a human anatomy, but there's like so many extra veins and things like that and all these like pulsating elements to it that it's not entirely human. And that's really cool. You guys can see the back of this part also. I mean, man, talk about just, you know, looking human but also alien. This piece here, we're going to take it off in a few minutes, but I just want to really give you guys a glimpse of that, which, by the way, it's articulated also. I didn't realize that. I actually didn't know there was articulation here. And yeah, these arms back here actually have ball joints on them, so they can move There's an elbow here. There's an actual wrist articulation as well. The wrists in this hand at least don't flex or anything like that, but like they move. I was not expecting them to move, and they do. That's nuts. That's gross too. And oh man, the heads. Okay, some of the heads move on here too. That I didn't know either. We've got, looks like at least 3, 4, let's see. So this head over here moves, this head moves, this head moves, that head moves, and this little one does not. So it's 4 heads that are moving besides his actual real articulated head. Oh my god. You know, as far as an accessory goes, that's outrageous. That's like so great that it does so much stuff there. And it looks really cool too, doesn't it? So let's come back to the body, I think, because I do want to spend some time talking about these heads, just because they are pretty epic-looking heads, aren't they? So yeah, we have a bunch of heads that articulate, a bunch of heads that move around. The sculpting is really cool on these heads. Now, by the way, this Venom does come with an additional 2 set of normal heads. We're going to get to that, but as far as these heads go, I mean, I love how they match with this one here. They're so menacing, they're so slickly sculpted also. Just love the expression on their faces. Like, that's just a perfect Venom face. Like, you know, you don't need to see the tongue all the time. This is just that Venom smile that says he's going to eat your liver and enjoy it. And not in the same way that Hannibal Lecter would, more just that he's going to tear it apart and enjoy that process of devouring. So I want to spend some more time with this piece here, by the way. And one thing I actually just discovered was, and I was not expecting this, the heads actually come off, or at least this head. So I feel like all of them come off, and that kind of led me down the road trying to figure out exactly what to do with some of these other accessories. Because I have these additional Venom arms I want to talk about, but I don't quite know where they go, because this over here is a ball joint, which had me wondering, like, will it fit the other Venom heads that come with this? And the answer seems to be yes. So you can actually put some of the giant heads on our Venom and put them right back. And okay, now we're getting into a very, very scary Venom. I'm going to get back to that. But so, you know, not to jump ahead here, but I do have some additional accessories I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to figure out where these go, and that's these 2 additional forearms and hands. And so, like, I don't think they go over here onto his other arms, because that would mean they'd like start extending them, and that would be weird looking. They don't seem to attach onto the arms that are on the back of our Venom, because again, different kind of joint. Like, you know, these are bullet joints over here, as we mentioned, so if I popped them out, these wouldn't really have anything to stick to, because this has a little hole to attach into. So I don't really know what these go for. I don't know where these fit in. So, I mean, just a random weird accessory. I wanted to point out that, yeah, like I said, there is a left one and a right one. I have no idea where they go or how they fit. I feel kind of terrible about that. I mean, I'm looking at this thing here. Let's see, like maybe, oh, I think I just figured it out on camera. I'm going to leave this in here. Let's see if I'm right. I am. Okay. Oh, interesting. So it looks like there's little holes on each of these arms. And yes, it looks like that is where they're going to go. Okay, well, you guys, this figure just got like 100 times cooler and grosser and weirder at once. So yeah, like all of these little limbs here are going to attach onto his big limbs, I guess. So you're basically getting a 6-armed Venom, which means you're getting 8 limbs, which means he basically is more of a spider than Spider-Man even is. But like, wow, this is so cool. Look at how many arms he has. Yeah, he has like a full-on 8 limbs here, if you include his legs, so that he is super spidery. That's just like some horror movie stuff too right there. That is cool looking. Wow, I wasn't sure where those went. Took me a while to figure it out, but yeah, once you do, that just makes this thing even more cool and more frightening looking. But yeah, that's enough about this really awesome accessory. Let's take some of these bits off here, and let's just talk about the Venom himself here, just the figure itself. We'll remove this part here. So here we go. This is our Venom now. Just a la mode. That's not the right terms. It's our Venom au naturel, maybe. And again, just looking very fearsome here. Like, this is the classic Venom right now. And, you know, it's got everything you want with a Venom figure. Like, I think Venom needs to be big. He needs to be fearsome looking. He needs to be very large and in charge, and this totally does that. Nothing real bad to say about this. You know, I think I've seen some other reviews that folks talked about the Venom symbol as a point of contention, and how a lot of folks didn't like how maybe it was painted or how big it is or just where it is on his body. If you're going to be like someone who's a stickler for those kinds of things, which I normally am not with the Marvel figures, you know, if that's the thing that bothers you, maybe go back to the Legends. We'll do a comparison in a few moments with that one. But as far as what we're looking at here, like, I'm really happy with the symbol. I think it looks really cool. I like how it blends into the muscles. And again, just looking about like how vascular all of his muscles are here too. I mean, legs, arms, same thing. Just very, very awesome looking figure. Like, this looks like a 90s action figure. You know, if this was what I had as a kid in the 90s, I'd be pretty happy. And to be fair, by the way, Venom was one of my favorite figures as a kid. And part of that was because of just how it looked and how big and enormous he looked compared to all my other toys. Now let's talk articulation as well, since we got this guy out here and his little thing is off. So again, this thing, while it was on, it didn't really actually hinder too much of his articulation. Not really. Like, you know, you couldn't put the arms all the way back, but other than that, didn't really affect anything else. So let's take a look at what else he has here. So of course he has that ball-jointed head, which all the Diamond Select figures have. We have ball-jointed shoulders, so you can get great big range of motion. And since he is just, you know, a human body, or just a body, I should say, there's not really anything to get in the way. There's other parts of his outfit. There's no cape or anything like that. It's going to cause problems. So you do have a lot of freedom to get that full range of motion. You got the bicep swivel. You have a single-jointed elbow. We have wrists that can just rotate. There's no flex in either of these wrists, which some of the other figures tend to have that. In this case, Venom doesn't. So just something worth noting here. We have the torso that gives us a little bit of movement, but it's very, very stiff. So you might need to take a blow dryer to that. I haven't done that for this figure. I didn't realize how stiff out of the box it was going to be. So yeah, that doesn't quite move too great, unfortunately. It looks like it doesn't have a great range of motion anyway. But one thing I am noticing right now is that the waist moves. And also, oddly enough, he has a belly button. I'm just noticing that right now. Like, I don't feel like I've seen that on a lot of other figures from Diamond, but Venom has a belly button for some reason. But anyway, yeah, his waist moves, and some Diamond figures we've looked at in the past, sometimes the waist moves, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know how they determine that, but in this case it does, and I'm very happy to see that there. Now, as far as leg flexibility goes, got pretty decent range of motion. I mean, he's a big guy, so he can't do a full split, but we're getting something here. Let's see if he can lift his legs straight up. All right, yeah. He actually can do nice little straight up things here, so he could do some V-ups if you want to make him exercise a little bit. There you go. We have a thigh cut, so we can get some thigh rotation on that. We have a single jointed knee as well. And we have an ankle that can flex. No rotation on the ankle, but it does flex. So overall, you know, the articulation is a little bit different from some of the other Diamond Select figures that we looked at from their Marvel line, but it's pretty good. I'm actually very happy with that, and I'm especially happy to have the waist movement here. He can move pretty darn well. I'm actually quite engrossed by that. Now, I feel like since we're talking articulation too, this might be a good time to start doing a comparison, and I happen to have here a Marvel Legends Venom. Let's see if I can get him to stand up. There we go. So I have a Marvel Legends Venom. This is like one of the ones from a few years ago, but it's still basically like the same figure that they're putting out now in their current like animated series re-release line. So let's see if I can get them both in frame together here. So yeah, let's just do our side-by-side comparison right now. Let's get that done with. So as far as height goes, there is a little bit of a difference here. You guys can, I think, see that pretty plainly. And we'll get the old ruler back out now. So this Venom here from Marvel Legends, about 7.5. Like I said, this one over here, all right, it's actually a little bit smaller. I thought he was bigger looking. Maybe it's because his legs were in a different position, but Venom is still a little bit over 8 inches tall. So there is a slight height difference here. That doesn't bother me at all, though, because I think Venom should be one of those characters that always must tower over your other action figures on display. So that's fine here. Now, I think the thing you're going to notice right off the bat, though, is the level of detail in the difference here. And, you know, that would be basically just Marvel Legends, they recycle a lot of their bodies. Like, really, all of their bodies are constantly being recycled. I mean, this exact body sculpt here, I'm pretty sure is on the Tombstone figure I have. I've got a bunch of other toys I know have this body type. The Diamond Select Venom, though, that's completely unique only to him. No one else is going to have this body. So for me, that's really exciting. That's one of the things I really like about them. As far as like the symbol goes, I mean, you can kind of tell. I feel like, I don't know which one's going to be more accurate. I feel like it depends on what comic or what animated series we're talking about. I'm not going to pick that one apart. You guys in the comments can take a look. They'll let me know who you think did that Venom symbol better. And I'll show you guys the back also, just so we can get the whole thing here. And now, oddly enough, I don't know why, but this Venom has like a little spot there. He's got 2 little spots, and there was nothing that he came with, I don't think. Maybe he had some like slime to come out of his back, but I don't remember. If he did, it was very minimal. This Venom doesn't have that. And keep in mind that that Diamond Venom comes with this giant thing here still. So, you know, talk about some bang for your buck. You're getting a lot more here than you are with that Marvel Legends one in this case. And I'm just kind of curious to see if I can actually get him to wear this. You know what? You actually can get him to wear it. He's a little off balance. So if you had a stand, he might be able to hold himself up a little bit better, but you know what? That actually kind of works. And those heads look really good on him too. So, that's a fun thing to note. All right. Now, as far as some other things here you guys might noticing is color and paint. So the Venom from Marvel Legends, he is just black and white. If you got the animated series one that came out not that long ago, it was black with like the blue highlights and the red highlights. In this case, I have my own lights here providing me that lighting. So, you know, I personally think that's just kind of stupid. If it's a statue, it's one thing, but these figures, I think it's unnecessary. I'm not really a fan of that look, surprisingly, but, you know, as far as color and paint goes, the Diamond Select Venom, I'd say, much nicer, cleaner kind of paint job, and also more nuance to it, because there is a little bit of like light blue that I hope you guys can see in this lighting here, that kind of adds to the shadow, adds to the depth of the figure, so it's not just one solid tone. Now, I think we also need to start talking about a little bit more with the accessories here, because yeah, we already talked about this giant thing over here, and we also saw the additional hands that the Venom has, which they have not made a Marvel Legends with any Venom stuff similar to that. They've had some ones with more like oozing effects, which were really cool. This is not that figure, but in terms of like the head sculpts here, probably you're noticing right now, but as far as like heads and hands go, you might be noticing that this Venom's got more neutral hands. I believe he also came with closed fists. Well, so does our Diamond Select Venom. We have a pair of closed fists for him as well, so he's got 2 of those there. I'm going to keep on the claw hands because I think they're really cool. But you might be saying to yourself right now, well, the Marvel Legends Venom has the slobbery Venom head. That's so much better. Well, we're not done talking heads here, so I am going to mention that, yes, other Marvel Legends have had this type of Venom head with a slobbery tongue. They've had just a straight-up Eddie Brock head, and I think they may have also had a half transformation one too. Well, Diamond Select gives you that as well in one figure, because to be quite honest, I think if you wanted to get all those different heads, all those different accessories, that's like 2 or 3 Venoms that you have to combine together. This Diamond one, however, we have 3 head sculpts, and we need to start talking about them. So we have 3 head sculpts total to talk about here with this Diamond Select Venom, and this here is number 2. This is Venom with his teeth bared. He's snarling at you. It's just looking very vicious. Very nice head sculpt. Love the paint job on the teeth here. Great looking head here. Love this one here. And we also have what I think is probably like the coolest additional one here, is this one, which is the Eddie Brock partially transforming head sculpt on him. We got the tongue sticking out. We have the teeth forming around him. Like, I love this one here. But technically, we have 4 head sculpts, I guess you could say. I mean, it is 3.5 maybe, but because besides those, we have this. We have a tongue. There's just a random tongue that's included in this, and I'm not quite sure what to do with it entirely, because, you know, the one thing I'll say, Diamond doesn't include instructions in their toys, so you really got to figure things out on your own. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Usually, it doesn't. Like, you know, in the case of those extra arms, it took me a little bit while to figure out that there were holes there, because it's a black figure with black holes. But yeah, so as far as this one goes, I feel like this is meant to go into his mouth here, because that's what it looks like, right? Like, you know, so I'm pretty sure that's the way to do this. So yeah, you get essentially what is 3 head sculpts with an accessory to make it into 4 head sculpts. So this makes for a very iconic Venom action figure. So I think that's pretty darn in depth, because at this point we've looked at the articulation, we looked at the head sculpts, we looked at the paint job, and overall I'm really just blown away by this figure. You know, I love Venom toys in general. I have a lot of Venoms from different lines, and some of those go all the way back to when I was a kid. And he's just always a fan favorite. He always makes for a great toy. This one here that we're looking at today is absolutely no exception to that rule. And the biggest thing I want to stress again is the price point, because this is like, I think, a $25, less than $30 figure still. Not that hard to get at the moment, and I think it's really worth it because you get the different hands. Because keep in mind here, we have the claw hands, we have the closed fists, we have the 3 head sculpts, we have very solid articulation. That's pretty comparable actually to what we saw with that Marvel Legends. Now granted, the big difference there is that the Marvel Legends do have double jointed knees and elbows, but I'm okay with losing that in this case. I don't think this figure needs to have them. Would it be cool if he did? Absolutely yes, but I don't think it's a great loss here. Especially because we do have that additional accessory of the, well, the weird back thing with all the other symbiote heads on it, which is pretty darn awesome. If you had to get one Venom action figure, and you're not talking Marvel Legends, yeah, I think this is the one to go with, because I believe that Mafex has done a version of him as well, but that's going to be double the price of this, and it's an excellent toy, don't get me wrong, but again, double the price. And I kind of just like this one better, to be quite honest. It's cool to have him in the same design and feel as the other Legends, but, you know, this one's kind of cool because it does stand out, and I think it's fine if you want to just blend him in with those toys as well. He's not going to really look too different within that collection. Personally, I think he's going to look really better. And the other thing, too, as I mentioned, was that really, if you want to get all the different Venom head sculpts, you would have to buy, like, 3 different Marvel Legends to just get one. Like, there is a very cool one that came out, I think, a year or 2 ago with him with, like, the Eddie Brock head and some, like, different slime effects going on around him. And I considered getting that one, but the slime effects kind of, I don't know, they weren't really doing it for me. But this Diamond Select one, I think it does it for me a lot more, and especially with that weird backplate, which is such a unique, extra awesome touch. Love that. So, you know, I highly, highly recommend this Venom action figure. And if you want to get it for yourself, go ahead and check out our Amazon affiliate links in our YouTube description below. If you click on that link and buy this figure or anything else with it, it helps out this YouTube channel at no extra cost to you. So that's our look at this Venom. I give it 10 symbiotes out of 10, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to give it a really high rating because I really like this figure. I find nothing wrong with it, other than maybe the tongue that comes with that head. Not entirely sticking as great as I'd like it to, but, you know, overall, I'm still going to rank this super duper well. So I love this figure. I think you are going to love it too. So go ahead and pick him up for yourself. So until next time, this has been Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and we'll see you guys later with more action figure reviews and everything else we do here on the channel.